Out of all the unbelievable things that happen in NIKKE, such as alien robots, humanity coming together to form a central government instead of nuking each other, and the self-insert protagonist actually getting in-game pussy, one stands out in particular that throws all common sense out the window. The commander, and a couple of other dudes mentioned here and there, are the only humans that find NIKKEs attractive? Cyborgs that are essentially sentient, possess identical yet voluptuous bodies, and have the freedom to develop feelings akin to a human or unpopular, looked down upon even. What kind of man, even woman in today's age would turn this down? How about this one? In our world, every NIKKE, including the mass-produced ones, would have an army of simps and lowly gacha nerds begging for their attention. But you mean to tell me that none of this is transferred into this world, save for a couple of chads? I find that hard to believe. Let's take it from the game developer's perspective. One of the goals that is attributed to the game's success and will continue to do so is waifu collection, or in other words, the emphasis of delivering attractive characters that have romantic interest in the protagonist and the protagonist alone. That last part is exceptionally important. We have seen what happens when characters from these types of games go out and explore their dating preferences like the real world, even when not explicitly stated. A single mistake can be very costly, especially when dealing with parasocial, lonely, awkward, insecure men, plain, as we call it, I call it, who equate those implications to another three-letter acronym. So to keep their sales intact, it is crucial for developers to stick to the books. All attractive female characters are fused into the protagonist's ever-growing harem, with some varying degrees of time. All other characters of this type are simply killed off or become some sort of out-of-world deity. With that out of the way, let's continue analyzing the abnormal state of the arc. Not all humans are like this. The bunnies of Coin Rush and the maids of Made For You are very popular with the public. NIKKE idol groups garnered a tremendous amount of support even in the old days, but all of these examples have their problems. The bunnies are mainly sought after for their insane luck, and the maids are likely concealing their identities as NIKKEs, as that's what Privity does. And the vast majority of fans for Pretty were assumed to be other NIKKEs. I mentioned previously that besides the commander, there are traces of other humans that have engaged in the romantic pursuit of NIKKEs. There are unnamed individuals as well as those that have been suspected to have romantic bonds. The legendary commander and Lilith were very close, and the simultaneous disappearance of both of them in Red Ash is no coincidence. This example is not as convincing, but Oswald is a known super fan of the goddesses, someone who was willing to endanger themselves and their career to help out a rogue squad out in the middle of nowhere is likely a fellow man of culture. And then there's this guy, who probably bangs anything that looks like a robot, so don't worry about him. The romantic desire for a NIKKE companion is incomprehensibly low. There must be an explanation to all this. Perhaps it's shame. The shunning from their community outweighs the cyborg love adventure. Or it could be the years of anti-NIKKE brainwashing bloomed by lying politicians and tampered historical events. There could be obnoxious legal processes that subjugate civilians, leading to increased expenses or regulations that make daily life a pain. Or it could be that they just simply prefer humans. Humans are, after all, superior in ways that NIKKEs are not, such as natural reproduction or the inability to be hacked. Regardless of these reasons, the commander cannot be in the minority here, not in a world where these characters exist. And that is why the humans of the arc are unrealistic. Not that any of us are complaining, or care, really. We just want the next gold medalist in jiggle physics, man.